Car Mechanics, Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, and our career Let's Play. This is episode 13. And if you remember from our last episode, we started off in the junkyard and we bought this peach of a car. Base game, Hyundai Tiburon. And as you can see, we essentially have to build its motor from scratch, as well as everything else in the engine bay. It does have a fuse box base, but it's going to need all the fuses. It's going to need the cover. It's going to be some work. Our goal ultimately is going to be to get this car complete, body panels, engine, and get it running so we can sell it and make a profit. Right now we currently have a $600 profit on the car, but that's not good enough to me. So that's going to be our project. We also leveled up, and we have 3 skill points. So what we are going to do is we are going to put more ability into taking parts off and putting parts on quicker. And then we're going to have a look at this Pagani. So it says cannot start car. We got to replace filters. Then it's going to be running gear and brakes and steering. Well, let's get started with our usual. I can already see a bunch of parts that are going to need to be changed. Through the process of doing our inspection, we might get close to leveling up again. Now, kind of a good part with this car is it's a V12 motor. So when we do our testing for compression, there are going to be a lot of experience points that we get with that. We'll get one for the engine block itself, the crankshaft, each of the pistons. Alright, so let's hop in here. We'll start with our fuel pressure test. to our electronic multimeter, which is going to test all the electronics. And now our compression test. So we have two camshafts that we're going to have to change. And obviously, the air filters are going to need to be done. We got our ABS module and our ABS pump. That is all pertaining to your brakes. So we will come into inventory and we will put those on our list. You're going to need the exhaust. Belt tensioner. You need two water pump pulleys. Now, before we can pull that water pump off, we need to hop up front here and we need to drain our coolant. With that done, we can come back here. And yes, we do need to go through all this so that we can get to the camshafts that need to be replaced. And that timing gear needs to be replaced. Okay, so now we need to hop back up here to the top of the motor. And all of these parts need to come off. Pull the coil pack off. And as you can see, this car has not 12, but 24 spark plugs. And we have a spark plug right here that needs to be changed. A camshaft cap. And we just leveled up again. So now we'll take this other cap off. All the plugs look good on this side. So now we can take our timing chain off, which needs to be replaced. Unfortunately, with the car we bought from the junkyard, these camshafts will not be able to be used in that one, because these are for a V12 car. Okay, so let's take a look at our parts. We still got to pull the fuel filter and oil filter. We still have one part not discovered from noises in the engine bay. Which could be a lot of different things. We may just pull the pan and take a look, because I'm not seeing anything on top of the motor. But because this is an independent rear suspension as well, it could simply be this bad rotor. We do know this suspension arm needs to be changed. And this cap needs to be changed. So we will take all of that out. And we will jump up here to the front. We will mark this for purchase. We will mark these brake pads for purchase. The solder tie rod. That radiator is good. And everything on that side looks good. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and drain the oil on this car. It will cost us a few bucks to fill it back up, but it never hurts to check in the oil pan. Make sure there's nothing underneath that needs to be changed. And I think we just found our last part. That we did. I may possibly have that already. I do not. We need 66% on our parts. So we're going to go here. We need 2 air filters. 2 pulleys. Belt. Timing gear. We're going to need this, this, and that. Okay. Our next step, we come over here to the spring puller, and we're going to pull this this shock absorber apart. Then we're going to rejoin it with the new cap. And we are going to start putting new parts back on the car. Wait a minute. I thought we bought a new one of these, but we didn't. Okay. Alright. So now, let's get ourselves back to this suspension. And as we go through the reassembly, this car in particular has 2 different size tires on it, front and rear. One thing to make sure of if you're a new player is that you want to make sure that you put the right size rim and tire on the front and on the rear. As you can see, the rears are 335 30/20s and the fronts are 255 35 19s. So they're full rim size smaller. So we want the 20s for the back. We go back out of here, come up here, and we will start reassembling up front. Now, we are not done with the brakes yet. There is still another set of pads we need to find. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I am mistaken. So we are done underneath the car. And we can let it down. And this is where the fun begins. Because now we get to put everything back together. Bonus is that it'll go back together quicker than it came apart. So we'll get the new camshaft in. And this is where we had the bad camshaft cap. Okay. Now we scoot over here. Put this camshaft in. Now I have noticed as we've gone through this Let's Play that the game isn't actually just taking parts from the beginning of the list of parts, and I believe that has to do possibly with either the quality of life mod or with maybe a recent update that it had, so that the parts that are taken off the car go back where they came from, with the exception of the parts that are bad. Those will generally be highlighted with the parts that are 100%. Oh, hold on. Before we do that, this is one of those motors that's kind of strange, whereas I have to fill the engine with oil before I put that intercooler set on it. That should do. We'll go back to assembly. and we will finish putting this car back together. So I also did a little bit of checking early this morning when I got home from work, and the car that we have been buying parts for, the body panels, there is only one more story order car in between that one. Well, yeah, in between that one and the last one we did. So if we continue at the pace we are going and only buy one body panel per vehicle that we do, we are going to have to do a lot more regular order cars before we can even bother to work on that one. Now let's just double check. Everything is grayed out. Well, not bad. This car is going to pay us $12,000. These very high-end cars can usually tend to be a very good payout, depending on what they need done. So with that, we will send the Pagani on its way home, and we just more than doubled what we had at the start of the episode, money-wise. So we have another GTR that needs brakes, gearbox, and fluids. We got one that needs suspension, gearbox, and fluids. We will take the brakes, exhaust, because we want to take as many quicker orders as we can so that we can buy parts for the other vehicle. And because we have leveled up again, we are now going to get, I believe it's 10%. Yes, we now get 10% on parts we purchase. Our next car will be the Chevy Cobalt. And with that, friends, that'll be episode 13 of Car Mechanic Simulator. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, comment. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, as it helps out my small channel, and share my videos. Thank you. Have a good day.